Welcome to East Alabama Today, featuring topics, events, and interesting people from all over East Alabama. Hosted by Carl Brady. Now, let's get right to the show. Here's Carl Brady.
Hello everyone, welcome into East Alabama Today. I'm Carl Brady. Thanks for being with us on today's program. As always, we'll start out the show with a little contact information. If you would like to get in touch with us, we want to hear from you. If you have an idea for the show, we'd love to hear from you at our email address. Best thing to do, just send me an email, cbrady@tv24.tv. Fairs, festivals, special events, things that are going on in your community. You guys know better what's going on out there than I do. You live in the community, and if you've got something going on with your church or civic club or nonprofit organization, we want to hear from you. So send me those emails, cbrady@tv24.tv. Now, also, we want to know about the interesting people who live in your community. Maybe you know someone who's a writer, an artist, or a musician. Maybe you have an odd or an interesting hobby, or they have an odd or interesting hobby, and you think they'd be a great guest for the program. Let me know about those folks as well. And then always, just send me the email, cbrady@tv24.tv. Hang out with us. We've got a great show coming up for you today. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, and that's dogs and cats and pets of all kinds. We'll do that when we come back. Stay with us. Hello everyone, we welcome you back into East Alabama Today. Again, I'm Carl Brady, and as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about dogs, cats, pets of all kinds today with some guests from the Humane Society Pet Rescue and Adoption Center from Etowah County. And it's my pleasure to welcome to the show again, no strangers to the show, Christi Brown. Christi, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Good to meet me. Did you say good to meet me? And Tabatha Johnson as well. Christi and Tabatha, of course, with the Pet Rescue and Adoption Center in the Humane Society of Etowah County, and you can just see a little bit of Kimbo down there. Kimbo is one of the mascots and representatives of the Humane Society as well. We'll talk a little bit more about his job and the things that Kimbo does around the community, but you know, you guys are being seen around the community a lot lately, especially in the fall. You've had a lot of things going on here over the month of September and October, and got more things coming up as we lead on into the holidays. But just kind of give us an overview of how 2013 has been for the Humane Society.
Well, it's been a huge blessing. We've had a lot of events going on. We tried to implement a lot of new things this year to try to improve community awareness, be out in the public a little bit more, try to do more community awareness events. Fundraisers too, but also just some community events, and Tabatha's been helping us a lot with that. So it's been probably one of the busiest years we've had, which we've still got a lot of things coming up that I'm sure you're going to go into with us later, but we've had a very good response to all the things that we've done, and it's kind of getting us ramped up for 2014.
Yeah, an active year for you guys. How have adoptions been?
Adoptions have been great, and we've started working a lot closer with rescues, trying to save more lives, and we've sent several animals to Canada, and we're teaming up with a new rescue and hopefully getting 3 more out here in the coming few weeks. And you know, like I said, the adoptions, we've gone up from doing about 20 a month to close to 40 a month.
Wow.
So it's been like she said, a blessing. And you know, we always have plenty of animals that need good homes. So anytime you're needing a pet, please visit one of your local shelters before you go and buy an animal.
And that's something I was going to ask. You know, there is still way too many animals out there. You never run out of animals that are available, even as adoptions increase. There's still too many unwanted animals out there.
As long as people don't spay and neuter their animals, there's always going to be a need for a humane society.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. I like the idea that you guys have been teaming up with rescues and have the ability to send some of the animals other places. You know, there's been for the last several years a major discussion about no-kill shelters versus shelters that do have to put their animals down and those kind of things. And so you guys are working. Nobody wants to have to put any of them down.
No.
Right.
But there's just not always enough time or money or space for all the unwanted animals. but being able to partner with other rescue groups, that's something new that's kind of going on in the whole organization of rescue shelters, isn't it?
Right. It is. We're being more aggressive with them, and something that we want the public to understand is the amount of animals that we have to euthanize is dictated by the community that we're in. So each shelter may have a varying number of animals that they have to euthanize depending on how aggressive the community is with spaying and neutering their pets. Right. So it's kind of like if someone asked Tabatha, well, what kind of dogs do you put up for adoption? The community dictates what kind of animals we put up for adoption by what they're looking for. So the community has to take responsibility as well for the pet population. And so us getting out in the community more and talking to people about that, which Tabatha's done an excellent job of, we're hoping that we can kind of partner together and get some of those people on board to help us fix the problem. So
you were talking about the community awareness. You guys have really increased awareness over the last year with all the events and other events that are coming up. November the 6th. And by the way, this week is Shelter Week, is that right? National Shelter Week?
Shelter Appreciation Week.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we're going to hit you up for donations. So to help celebrate that, we always have a standing wish list of things that we need at the shelter that the staff and I have compiled together. Going into the winter months, people always ask about blankets. There's certain blankets that we like to get if we can be picky. The micro fleece blankets, we find that they dry a lot faster, they're more efficient, they don't have the stuffing in them that clogs the drains up when we're cleaning, so we ask for those. Bleach, antibacterial Dawn is something that we've implemented for cleaning that, believe it or not, has been huge.
Right. Paper towels, peanut butter. We actually, I call it peanut butter and crackers, but we take the milk bones and we'll dip them in peanut butter, and the dogs love them.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, so peanut butter and milk bones, dog treats, dog toys. We have so many animals coming through, and you have your puppies that love to tear them up. And so we go through a ton of toys each week. Like she was saying, the blankets are a must, and if we can steer away from the blanket, the comforters, because the stuffing does clog up the drains. But we'll
it can clog up the dogs too when they start tearing them apart. And you get all that fiber-filled stuffing that they're chewing on and swallowing. Yeah, it can be.
But sheets. We cut. A lady asked us the other day. What do you do with the sheets? Well, we cut them up and use them for rags, pillowcases. Tabatha can tell you a little bit about what they're doing with pillowcases and book ends. We actually had a lady that took towels and she sewed, I guess it was a pillowcase, and just put stitches right across. The dogs love them. They're thick and durable, and they're easy to clean. We'll take and tie wash rags into knots, and the dogs have a field day with it. And the simplest things, we do get a lot of wash rags in, so it's like, hey, we don't use them as much for cleaning, but we tie them into knots, and the dogs just have a heyday with it. So.
Yeah, a great chew toy.
Keep them busy.
Keep them busy, keep them occupied.
The pillowcases are hammocks. I had no idea what they. We need pillowcases. I'm like, for what? They take the tall metal bookshelves. You take the shelving out of it, you turn the bookshelf on its side, and you tie the pillowcase into each square, and the cats have hammocks to lie in.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Who knew?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm learning all kind of neat things. So. When you're working on a low budget, you get creative.
Absolutely.
They've mastered the art of being creative.
We've got feathers hanging from the ceilings in the cat room on strings, and they love, like I said, just the simplest things. We take spider for Halloween. We had some of the little spiders on the rings, little plastic ones. The cats love them. You toss them in there, and they just have a field day with it. So
don't throw anything away. Bring it to us after the holidays. We'll put it to
either we'll use it or put it in a yard sale.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly, one or the other. Now, one of the events you guys have coming up this week, as a matter of fact, is at Back 40 Beer in downtown Gadsden. The Yappy Hour?
Yes.
Yeah, tell us a little about that. It's going to be a dog-friendly event, of course.
It is going to be a dog-friendly. We stole the idea from Birmingham. Their animal control has a standing appointment at a restaurant in Birmingham. So a couple of people and I went to Birmingham a couple of months ago to kind of see how it worked. And it's just a place to take your pet, have a drink for a couple of hours, just enjoy yourself. As you know, there's hardly anywhere to take your pet and socialize with other pet owners. So this is something that we're doing. We're trying it with Back 40, so we appreciate Jason and the gang helping us with that. And it's going to be from 5 to 8 at Back 40. I know it's chilly this week, but they're going to have tables set up outside, and we'll probably have an adoption table with some pictures of adoptable pets. You can bring donations, all of our wish lists, so please bring the donations. And it's just a place to come and mingle with other people right after work, grab your dog, come down, have a beer. So we're going to
and there's not a lot of pet-friendly things. There's becoming more awareness in Gaston and Etowah County of allowing some events to be pet-friendly, but there's still a lot of them that will post on their little flyers, no pets allowed for this event. And that's understandable. There are some folks who are frightened of a large dog, even though Kimbo laying here asleep like he is,
not very threatening.
Not very threatening, but there are a lot of people who would see that dog and absolutely be terrified. So and there's. You always got to make sure you clean up after them when you have them out.
And we'll have a little station set up for that. So we'll come prepared. We know what to bring. So we'll have a station set up and a little donation table, and health department. It's you can't just take your dogs into a restaurant. This is our workaround for that is they want to partner with us and help us. So we're just going to kind of set up outside. So just throw on a fleece jacket and come out. Just prepare for cooler weather.
Absolutely. We need to take a commercial break, so we'll do that right now. And we've got some more events to talk about and some things to talk about as we go into the holiday season as well. So stay with us here on East Alabama Today. We'll be back in a moment. And we welcome you back into East Alabama Today. We're talking with Christi and Tabatha from the Humane Society Pet Rescue and Adoption Center in Etowah County, and a lot of events going on. This week being Shelter Appreciation Week, as we mentioned. Another event or a program that gets started this week is called Butts and Mutts. It's a 5-week program that, when I saw it, I thought, hey, they're going to be selling Boston butts. I get some barbecue. But that's not what it is, right?
Coming to work it off after you eat the barbecue.
Yes, the Butts and Mutts is a program that helps, give you bonding time with your pet and training and working out. It's going to start November 9th, and we're going to have Rusty from Planet Doggywood come over and do the dog training. So from 8 to 9 is the dog training, and then 9 to 10 is going to be a workout with your pet. So it's going to start at the YMCA, and they call it drop-in. If you want it to do it just one day, it would be $25. If you want it to do the whole 5-week program, it's $100. They also talked about if you can get a sponsorship, a couple of businesses to sponsor, and if you can raise $500 for the shelter, then your program is free. And then there's going to be some advertising for the companies that donated, businesses that donated, just depending, whether it's going to be on the rocking shirts that we're going to have that are camo, and different things, banners and stuff like that. So it's going to be really cool. The location may change, depends on where the group wants to do it. Like I said, it's going to be at the YMCA at first, but the following week they may do it at the falls. Just kind of change the scenery and give you different obstacles. Instead of just running around the YMCA, you can go down the walking trail at the falls and stuff like that.
Try to utilize some of the area.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea.
I know, I'm ashamed to say I haven't been up there yet. So, so we talked to them. Heidi and Carol at the YMCA actually approached us about having a fundraiser for us. And of course, they're a nonprofit, so that was really impressive. And they wanted to supply the training, which we were more than happy to let them do. I'll bring the donuts and the croissants. and you gave me an idea for the Boston butts, so I might do that. And so they wanted to do something for the shelter. And so Tabatha and I and the staff were really excited to hear about it, because people that are just getting into exercise, don't let the training boot camp is not, there's nothing intense about it. But people that are wanting to ease into exercise, this is a way to network with other animal lovers and to get your dog active, but also your dog may need help with behavioral issues. maybe he has a challenge walking on a leash. Well, if you're going to go out for a 3-block walk in the morning, you want to get Fido out to get him exercise. But if he's not behaving properly, you're going to easily just give up and say, well, he can't go.
It's too much. Yeah, it's too much trouble to take him out if they're being a problem. But that's where training comes in. It's I've always thought and said there's no such thing as truly a problem dog. There's just a dog that hasn't been trained well by his person. Because dogs can be, almost all dogs can be trained to do what you want them to do. My dog is just like a kid. He listens and does better than a 2 or 3-year-old does, following directions and doing what I tell him to do.
Better than my kids.
Well, they want to please you just by nature. I mean, they want to please you, but a few of them need a little bit more guidance than others. And so Rusty with Planet Doggy Woods offered to come and do that portion of it. And so what we're hoping is after the 5-week program that they will continue carrying that torch on, and those dogs will get more active, and that people will be more encouraged to stay with it and get their dog out. And bonding time is the biggest thing as well.
And you'll be surprised how much they'll learn in just a 5-week period, especially working with Rusty. Rusty's a very good trainer, and he can teach you techniques to train your dog. And once you start seeing, just like with the second part of it, the working out, once you get up and start seeing some results, then it's easier to stick with it. So your dog training and then your personal training yourself.
That's what I hear. I might try it. I might register. I should probably get busy. I'm more concerned about if we're going to have Boston butts.
The
donuts beforehand. That's the part that brings me in.
But they're registering at the YMCA, as you know, and then so there's still a few slots left open for that. And then, as Tabatha mentioned, the drop-in. If you just want to come this Saturday and check it out, just $25, and obviously it's tax deductible, and the money goes to the shelter, and it'll just come and check it out one day, and if you want to sign up for the rest, come. We know that you have other things going on during the holiday season, but we're just hoping that we can enjoy the season and get out and get some fresh air together.
And this is on Saturdays from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. So perfect time.
Get you home in time for football.
That's what I was about to say. It's plenty of time to get this done before you head out for your football games. December 14th, Reindeer Run. What's the Reindeer Run all about?
This will be our 3rd year doing this, and it has been such a huge success. We had a volunteer that came up with this 3 years ago. And she partnered with Shannon Campbell, and she partnered with Dennis Davis and the Gadsden Runners Club, and there's an Anniston Runners Club. I didn't know there were all these runners clubs. And so they launched the first Reindeer Run, and it's a 5K downtown, and we gather at First United Methodist Church, and there's a 5K that goes through historic downtown Gadsden. And then after the event, you can register now. You can register at the event, but you can call the shelter ahead of time and register. We show up. We probably start getting there around 8 in the morning. We'll have food provided. We'll have a timer. They call them the timers. The runners, or they're all about the time. So we'll have a person there taking time. And then when we're done with that, we'll have costume contest for the dogs. Of course, we've got to have the dogs. And so afterwards, we're all going to go over to the downtown tavern, have an award ceremony. You can warm up with a drink if you like, and just a lot of food and good times and just fellowship.
So another great opportunity to support the Humane Society Pet Rescue and Adoption Center, and be a part of some of the special events that are going on there. And as we're approaching well, let me mention that this is the month of November. We talked about this being Shelter Appreciation Week, but the month of November as a whole is Adopt a Senior Pet Month. And that's encouraging people to adopt older pets.
Yes.
Because everybody wants a puppy.
They do.
Everybody thinks puppy when they want to bring a new animal in. They want to think puppy, but there's some wonderful older dogs out there too.
We adopted a gray-bearded old black lab a few months ago, and he's about 7, and he's been the best dog ever. Kimbo was an adult when he was adopted, and it is Adopt a Senior Dog Month, so we're not going to have a bunch of 15-year-old dogs sitting up there. We'll have a good variety, but we like to encourage people not only to adopt the senior dogs and cats, but just adults in general. Like you said, everybody wants a puppy or kitten, and there's some really awesome adults down there.
It goes back to what the community wants, and in all honesty, they pick what animals go up for adoption. So if they, you always have that scare of it may be put to sleep, but when you have a dog sitting up in adoption for a couple of months, you feel bad for it because that's not a life it needs to live. It needs to be in a home and be loved. And, when you do have the older dogs up there, the thought that, crosses my mind is, I hope somebody gets it because it is older. So they deserve love too, even though they have, a lot of people think, oh, you can't train an adult dog. You definitely can.
Yeah,
It just takes time and effort. And if you're wanting to adopt a pet, you're going to have to put in that time and effort anyway, so why not give a dog that may have had a tough life before? Most of the time the puppies and kittens that we get have already had a great life. They come to us, we play with them all day.
Yeah.
So, and you have the older dogs that, we've got one that come to us matted head to toe at 4 years old, had to shave it, so you wonder what kind of life has it gone through, and then you look, hopes that it gets a great home and can feel loved and not only just know a life on a chain.
And it's really amazing how dogs, I know it's some people think it's crazy to project our human emotions onto our pets, but you can really tell a lot of these dogs, especially the older dogs, have an appreciation, it seems like, for having been adopted by a family and moved into a family that loves them. And and a lot of training dogs and dealing with dogs like that is more about training the person than it is about training the dog.
Absolutely.
You have to understand dog behavior to be able to train your dog and to accept your dog into the family. And that kind of leads me into, as we're approaching the holidays, one thing we always talk about, everybody, there's all these folks who want to wake up Christmas morning with a new kitten or a new puppy under the Christmas tree and those kind of things, and that makes a great Christmas morning. The kids love it for a couple of hours, and then all of a sudden you're stuck with a dog in the house. What are we going to do with it now? It eats, it poops,
and will for 15 to 20 years.
And will for 15 years,
It's like a baby that doesn't grow up.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you need to be careful of that. And one way to do that is with an adoption gift certificate. Instead of getting someone a dog you think they will like, you can do an adoption gift certificate, and then they can go to the shelter after the holidays and pick out a dog that they are bonding with or a cat that they feel bonded with. That keeps those animals in a home, in a loving home for a longer period of time. Yeah,
it's instead of trying to adapt the entire house around the animal, give your loved one an opportunity to come in, pick out one that's going to fit them, and it's a good, again, that's also a tax deductible gift, and you're getting that last one in before the end of the year. But Tabatha can probably talk more about this, but the percentage rate drastically increases right after Christmas and right after Valentine's Day and after Easter. She's seen this for a long time.
Yes. As an adoption counselor, when an individual comes in and they say, oh, I'm going to get my girlfriend a puppy for Christmas, Valentine's Day, I want it to be a surprise. Well, we understand that, but in our world, that person needs to have a bond with them. They need to come and help pick it out and realize what kind of responsibility they're about to take on. Yeah. And part of my job is to have a short interview with the people that are wanting to adopt and make sure they realize that. And if they're not there, they might not be ready for a dog. And so they get the dog, and a week later they sneak it over to the shelter and was like, look, my boyfriend got it. I really don't want it. Can you take it back? That's not healthy for the animal to go from home to home and home. We want to make sure when we adopt them out that they're going to be there forever. We understand that some may come back and it's not a right fit, but we want to try to prevent that in every way possible before they leave out.
Absolutely. We need to take another commercial break, and we'll come back and wrap up in just a moment. So hang out with us for just a little more of East Alabama Today. And we've been talking about the Humane Society Pet Rescue and Adoption Center in Etowah County. There's their location, 4200 Brook Avenue in Gadsden. Phone number 256-442 and 1347. And of course, find them on Facebook. That's the best way to find out and keep up with what's going on with the Humane Society, is on their Facebook page. And when you do that, search Humane Society Pet Rescue and Adoption Center, and you'll see the the Gadsden address on there, and you'll see that you're in the right place, and you can keep up with all these events that we've been talking about that are coming up and always ongoing with the Humane Society. Well, Christi, thanks for being with us again.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again. Tabitha, thanks for coming along. Thanks for bringing Kimbo, even though he is pretty much just slept the whole time, so which is pretty good. He's comfortable under the TV lights in front of the cameras. And folks, we want to thank you for being with us as well here on East Alabama Today. We'll see you next time.